You are absent or VIP today, which is Friday, January 29th. Here's what you missed. First, we finished up Brown versus Board of Education. If you haven't already finished and submitted those questions and checked your answers with Dearpod, you'll want to do that first. Brown versus Board of Education is really related to the assignment you're working on today, which is listening to a podcast about school segregation, but not in the 1960s today. So this is a podcast story from a radio show called This American Life, and they're talking about school segregation in St. Louis, Missouri, and a crazy integration plan that kind of happened on accident in 2015. Podcast is about an hour, so I'm giving you 2 days to listen to it. You'll listen to it today and on Monday. You're welcome to finish it up today if you'd like to. The podcast is linked right here, and then the transcript is here. So you'll open up the Problem We All Live With file, and then you need to choose your class. So if you are A, you click this link, B is this link, C is this link, and that's just because it's going to open up an Edpuzzle. So you'll click on it. And because podcasts are fully audio, there is no video here. So you're just going to listen to it, and it'll stop at the times that it's appropriate for you to go back to the questions and answer them. You are welcome to go back and listen to pieces. You can pause if you want to, jot some things down. The only thing that I would say is listening to a podcast is something that does take some focus. So, if you're working from home, you can do something like, color or doodle while you're listening, but you really shouldn't be trying to listen to this while you do your math homework or something. So this should be something that your brain is focused on. If that is a struggle for you, you can follow along with the transcript, and it's written out. There might be some errors in it, but because it's just auto-generated. But you can follow along with this if it's really difficult for you to listen to it just without any audio or any visual at all. While you listen, there are some questions that you will answer. Just kind of make sure you're understanding the podcast. And then there are a few images that are related to this podcast that I'd like you to take a look at. The first one is this painting, which is called The Problem We All Live With, which is what the podcast is named. So this is an image of Ruby Bridges. She integrated a white elementary school in Louisiana in 1960. So that's 6 years after Brown versus Board was decided at the Supreme Court. And you can see that this image depicts, her being escorted by National Guardsmen. She is being harassed. So you're going to point out at least 5 details from this painting that you see. What I do want you to do is, you can see here that the N-word is spray painted in the background. Don't type it out, don't spell it out, because every time a kid types something like that and submits it, it triggers the content filter for the school. So last year, our tech guys were like, "Excuse me, why are all of your kids typing out the N-word?" And I was like, "I swear, it's innocent." So you can just say, there's a racial slur on the wall. And then what message do you think this is trying to portray? And then this painting became relevant in November when Vice President Kamala Harris was elected. This image went viral, and that's the same shadow of the girl right here. So just kind of tie it into current events. How is Vice President Kamala Harris similar to Ruby Bridges? What's the message of this picture? Why did it go viral? So that is the This American Life podcast. You're going to listen to it today and into Monday. If you have any questions about it, you're welcome to reach out. They also make mention of a boy named Michael Brown. So I just have a write-up about who Michael Brown is. He went to one of the schools that's mentioned in the podcast. He went to the primarily black school, and he became famous when he was murdered by a police officer in 2014. So that sparked one of the first Black Lives Matter movements. So the first one was in 2012. When Trayvon Martin was killed in Florida. And then this sparked, months of protesting and riots, and it was really ugly. So you can read about who Michael Brown is because they do talk about him a fair amount, not because the podcast is about him, but because he went to one of the schools, and kind of the message of bringing him up is saying, like, this kid has been failed by the system over and over and over again. Just showing like what his school was like, and then how his life was ended. So you can read over that, and there's nothing you need to do with it. It's just kind of informational for you. If you have any questions, reach out, and otherwise I will touch base with you Monday, and we'll discuss this on Tuesday.